with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube, on X, on Roku, and Fire TV. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. I got you for the next 30 and change. It's a Friday, and it is a fun Friday because we got college basketball, men's and women's. We got Major League Baseball, we got hockey, we got basketball, and we got you, the people, on The Rome Show. You want to get in on any of the things that we might talk about today, just go over to YouTube or X and go to 12OZ Sports and comment live on the show going on right now, like our guy Kai, the goalie, who is fired up about the Florida Gators dismantling yesterday University of Maryland in the second half to win by double digits and head to the Elite Eight. The Rome Show 1, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, all the social medias. Follow us there. Like I said, we got some Sweet 16 to break down from last night. Plus, we got to get you ready for the 4 Sweet 16 games tonight. Major League Baseball had opening day, so I'd like to take you through the slate of games and give you some thoughts as we get moving with 161 remaining. And then, as we do every Friday, it's a What You Watching Friday for the people. So we got some stuff that we think you're going to enjoy over the weekend. So, you should stick along till about 7:30, 7:35, and we'll give you those. Oh, by the way, little bit of a teaser for the people, and I am going to toot my own horn here, but 4 for 4 yesterday, okay, in our college basketball picks. So if you're looking to make some of those bananas, okay, and maybe you're somebody that likes the fruits, whether during the week or on the weekends, and you got so much to put fruits on this weekend, this is the place you need to be. That's how we finish every show. All right, yesterday we had 4 Sweet 16 games hit in college basketball. It started off with BYU and Alabama. Alabama dominated BYU in this contest, 113-88. Now, from what I noticed in the 4 games yesterday, there was a common theme, okay, and it was the second half was really dominated by the team that won the game. This game was 51-40 going into the halftime break, but then on the back end, Alabama outscored BYU 62-48, led in large part by one of their best players, Mark Spears. He was 11 for 18 from the field with 34 points. But I think what was the most impressive was Aiden Holloway off the bench for Alabama, 23 points in 25 minutes and shot 50% from the field. I don't care what basketball team you are, meaning BYU or anybody else, if you're going to play an Alabama team that is going to have their best player score 34 and a dude score 23 off the bench, going to be tough to beat them. And oh, by the way, Alabama set an NCAA record yesterday, making 25 3-point baskets en route to that victory. So Alabama heads to the Elite Eight, and they are going to face off against the Dukies. The Duke Blue Devils defeated Arizona last night by a score of 100-93. Cooper Flagg for the Dukies. He scored 30, but there were 4 different scorers for the Duke Blue Devils yesterday in double figures. And I think that is what is most impressive about this team between Newpol, Proctor, James, Flagg, those guys that start daily, Maluch or whatever the hell you call that kid's last name. Those dudes can score. They can move the rock. And on any given night, okay? We talk about probably Flag and Knuppel the most. But on any given night, this roster is so talented that it can be a different person or in any given moment. Because to start this game, Cooper Flag through the first 12 minutes was 2 of 6 with 5 points. So essentially, the final 28 to 30 minutes of this game, Cooper Flag went off, shot over 50% from the field, and had 25 points for Duke. So I think that is what is so difficult about playing this team. It was 48 to 42 going into halftime, okay? And Arizona played well, right? They only lost by 7, but if you're able to hold the best player down in the first half to a degree, and the team is still talented and deep enough to give you a 6-point lead, and then the best player in the country really is the best player in the country the last half of the game, it's really tough to beat that team. So now you have a matchup of Duke versus Alabama in the Elite Eight, where you have a Duke team that I believe can really spread the basketball and play with 3 or 4 guys as the leader of that bunch, whereas Alabama is a team that definitely relies on their shooting to show up every day. And to me, that is a really scary way to live. It's like when I coach a game and our team like just rakes and we got like 14 hits and we score 12 runs, I'm not going to lie to anybody. I don't necessarily want to play the next day. It's like usually that day after the elite day is never as good. They set a record in terms of the amount of 3-pointers that they hit in an NCAA tournament game, which is awesome. But you can't rely on that to show up in the Elite Eight. So I have Duke winning the entire thing. So I'll be picking Duke every round. But early indicators on this Elite Eight game obviously trends me towards Duke. 1, because I think they're just simply the better team. But 2, the shooting of Alabama was so lights out. Some of that has to come back down to earth in their next contest. On the flip side, Florida outscored Maryland in the second half by 14 points to beat the Terrapins 87 to 71. Queen was the leader for Maryland, as he has been throughout the entirety of their season. Florida spread the basketball, 6 different scorers with 10 points or more. Another example of a team that can spread the basketball around. A lot of people talked about Walter Clayton Jr. coming into this game, but you had 10 points, 13 points, 13 points, 12 points, 14 points, and 15 points. 2 double-digit scorers coming off the bench and 4 double-digit scorers on your starting lineup. On top of that, 16 assists. So why do multiple people score? Why can they have a few different guys take over in moments of the game so the ball can keep moving? Because they want to play that way. 2 different players with 4 assists in the game and 3 different players with 2 or more. You don't get a lot of that, okay? That is a beautiful brand of basketball, and I feel really good for 2 reasons about Florida, okay? And I feel instantaneously stupid about my pick for them to lose in the Elite Eight and not go to the Final Four. Because when you really break this team down, they can beat you multiple ways. They can out-defense you. They can play you in a close game. They can come from behind. They can outscore you, okay? And they're gritty dudes that look like they love playing the game of basketball. So as I look back on this tournament and you get closer to the Final Four, I'm looking at Florida and I'm going, man, that is going to be a very difficult team to beat. Whether it's Duke in the final against them, or it's Arizona, or it's somebody you haven't mentioned yet, like a Houston or a Tennessee, a Purdue, a Kentucky, it doesn't matter. Whoever they were to potentially face if they continue on, I think Florida, I looked at this completely wrong because of their ability to just out-grit you. And I think that is an innate ability for teams. And I see that now in this Florida team. Kai, the goalie, mentions the out-rebounding numbers for Florida over Maryland in this game. Maryland 20 total rebounds while the Gators had 42. Yeah, plus 22 in the rebound category. I don't know, Kai, if you're counting at home, but I would say that's really good. Really good. That plus 22 in the rebound category. And then finally, we saved the best game last night for last. I tell people all the time, well, maybe not all the time, but I tell people on the Rome show when I talk about college basketball, there are a few coaches that I believe in. I said this at the beginning of the tournament. Bill Self at Kansas, despite any recent success or no success, I've always believed in Bill Self at Kansas. When Roy Williams was at UNC, always believed in Roy Williams. The dude, Jay Wright, that was at Villanova, always believed in Jay Wright. But there are also coaches, not just in college basketball, but of course across the landscape of sports, that you just don't believe in maybe. Or when it gets to it's time to win, AKA i.e. Doc Rivers, somehow we lose in the second round every time. Or somehow we can't get to the finals. Or somehow we always fall short. Well, John Calipari, for me, has been that college coach for the last 20 years. Outside of the Anthony Davis championship that he won at Kentucky, it has been a history of disappointments for John Calipari in the tournament. And the problem is, it's generally not Arkansas lost today to a really good team in Texas Tech. It makes sense. They're a 10 seed. Texas Tech's a 3 seed. They weren't supposed to win this game. Yeah, you're right. But when they were up by as many as like 17 at one point in this game, it's almost inexcusable to lose the game. But then on top of that, Texas Tech takes the lead with 7 seconds remaining. And this was the lack of coaching that John Calipari did in the last 7.3 seconds to not give his team a chance to go to the Elite Eight. Check this out.
Screws up, off, and down! It's a 2-point lead. Final seconds. Wagner with it. Driving on Hawkins. Firing off. Texas Tech has won.
No timeout call there from Coach Cal. Watch the replay right here. Why would you not call timeout and set this up? Here
Williams,
it is again.
Corkscrews up, off, and down.
So now you push the floor here and you call timeout right there. You got 5 seconds to run a play at the half. He doesn't. Okay look. Clearly not the look you're looking for to tie a game. And Arkansas goes on to lose. And though you are a school in a Power 4 conference in the SEC, and though you have a coach that's considered a Hall of Famer in collegiate basketball, okay, once you garner a lead of 10 points or more, once you go into a halftime break up by 7, okay, with the resume that John Calipari has, there was no reason why anyone in their right mind should have thought this team's going to lose this game. Okay? None. And if you have the veteran experience of John Calipari and you are a coach that has been there before, how are you not prepared and equipped with the tools to coach your team through that victory? And listen, it's not always going to happen, okay? You're rated or ranked lower than them for a reason. It's the truth, right? Just like when a line comes out in Vegas. This team is favored by 5 points. Really? I'm surprised. Well, in theory, or actually, in fact, in number, this team is better than that team, okay? So in number, Texas Tech was better than Arkansas. So if you wake up this morning and you say, wow, Arkansas lost by 2 points in overtime as a 10 seed against a 3 seed in the Sweet 16, and they started 0-5 in SEC play to get here, wow, what a great season. But that's not the case. The case is, you look at how the game was played out. Arkansas led the entire game. Arkansas had multiple double-digit leads. And even when Arkansas lost the lead with less than 10 seconds left, there was still something that could be done to salvage the loss of the lead or the potential loss of the game. And that's where coaching comes in, and that's where John Calipari did not show up for his Arkansas Razorbacks. And I'm not saying that they come out and hit the game-winning three or even tie the game in that second overtime, okay? I'm just saying, or that overtime to go to a second overtime. I'm just saying, much like people always say, why would you leave that timeout in your pocket? Why wouldn't you review that call late in an important game when you're down by a goal or a run or a few points? You never know. Why leave it in your pocket? And again, another tournament goes by where we sit here as college basketball fans and we say, is John Calipari that great of a coach? He seems to be a great motivator. Heck yeah, he is. He seems to be a great recruiter. Absolutely. And he's clearly a good enough coach because he's always going to have a top 25 team. And he's always going to find a way to make them play together. Like your team's 11-11 and 0-5 in the SEC. You're clearly good enough to have helped turn them around, do the right things for the program, and get them here. It's just that moment in the postseason right now for John Calipari that has me have him feeling like the college version of Doc Rivers. Right now, Calipari to me feels like Doc Rivers of collegiate basketball. Always going to be good. Team's always going to be good. But somehow, some way, they falter in the tournament. Tonight, we got 4 more games for the people, okay? I'll tell you them now, but we'll break them down in about 12 minutes, okay? Ole Miss, Michigan State, 7:09 tonight, okay? Auburn, Michigan, 9:39 tonight. Houston, Purdue, 10:09 tonight. And Kentucky, Tennessee, 7:39 tonight. We'll take a quick commercial break here on the Rome Show. All right. Then we'll come back, talk Major League Baseball opening day. And then we'll go what you watching / bananas for the weekend, because it's going to come right back around to college hoops on the hardwood. I am Andrew Romanella. Okay. This is the Rome Show. We're here with you, with me, whoever the hell is listening, and it's 12-ounce sports. We'll be back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12-ounce sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12-ounce sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
It's the
Yeah. It's the Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com. We broadcast live. YouTube, X, Roku TV, Fire TV, all the TVs. Super easy to find the show. Personally, I think Twitter's the best. I've talked to a lot of people recently that they think X is the best, YouTube's the best. Whatever. You can find us anywhere. I also think that if you want to find something, you'll find it. Plus, the Rome Show podcast, where you get your podcast. So you can go there as well. I got to tell you this before we go to baseball. I like to let people inside the curtain of the Rome Show here because it makes it a little bit more fun, okay? Sports are cool, all right? As some of my favorite radio head personalities have said in the past, the radio sports world, the television sports world, sports in general are kind of like a candy store. We go there for sweet treats and entertainment, okay? But sometimes sports, though we might take it really, really seriously, we forget is not necessarily the most important thing. So if we can get off of sports sometimes on this show and have a little bit of fun, we do that. So I just wanted to say this because every time I do a commercial break, I grab my coffee that I have sitting on my little desk here, and I got about almost 2 minutes of commercial break. So I take my coffee, I roll out, I go to the microwave on the other side of the house here outside the studio, and I pop that thing in for 16 seconds. Get the 16 seconds, come back in, bang. Little bit of a hot coffee for the last 15 minutes of the show. Let's ride, okay? So today, I do my thing, close the first half of the show, throw the commercials on. I open the door, and I must say that what a fantastic way to be greeted. My beautiful fiance had this nice Starbucks sitting there for me, and she was holding it, and there was no need to warm up my coffee because I got a brand new, fresh Starbucks in my hand right as I got out of the studio. So I just wanted to say how appreciative and fortunate I am and how lucky I am to have the fiance that I have. So I am super jolly, half number 2 of this show, and clearly super fired up because now this is my second full coffee of the morning. So if we get a little loud to finish this show as we talk about baseball, you know what? Just turn the volume down because we're fired up here on the music on all right now. And I want to take you through opening day. Got some highlights for you, okay? But I just want to give you an idea of how it all went. 28 teams played baseball yesterday, and a lot of things happened. First and foremost, the Phillies, they won in extra innings. Alex Bohm had 2 RBIs, including the 2 most important RBIs in the top of the 10th inning, I believe. He had 2 hits on the day. Kyle Schwarber also picked up 2 hits. The Yankees, they beat the Brewers, all right. Austin Wells and Anthony Volpe, they both went deep in this contest. The 1, the 2, and the 3 hitters for the Yankees all collected a hit. They won 4-2 in their home opener. The Orioles, they crushed Toronto 12-2. 3 different dudes had a 3-hit performance in this game. So not very good for Toronto, who I believe is not going to be very good and then is going to lose their best players in free agency. Oh, the Boston Red Sox, they beat the Texas Rangers 5-2. Here is Willer Abreu hitting a go-ahead 3-run homer. Bang! Pull side gap late in the game to give the Red Sox a 5-2 lead in the 9th and eventually a 5-2 victory for Boston on opening day. Bruce Bochy not too fond of this hanging. I think that's a change up there that stayed. Either way, bomb for Willer Abreu. The Miami Marlins, they score 3 in the 8th and 1 in the, or 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th for 3 total in the final 6 outs they were given to walk it off yesterday on opening day. Here is the game-winning double down the left field line. It barely stays fair for Stowers, who wins the game for the Marlins against the Pirates 5-4, spoiling the victory for everyone's favorite pitcher, Paul Skeens. Kyle Stowers delivers that RBI as you see it land tightly down the line. Marlins get the first victory of the year. The Giants, 4 in the 9th to beat Cincy, including this Wilmer Flores 3-run homer to really secure the victory for the Gigantes. Wilmer Flores, I mean, crazy to think that like 8 years ago, I was at the game when he got traded from the Mets. Me and my brother were there. Crazy, hits a walk-off homer, and he's still playing A. But B, I think he's been in San Fran this entire time. Good for Wilmer Flores. Big win for the Giants to kick off the season. By the way, the White Sox won. We talked about their over-under at 53.5 yesterday. They were victorious on day one, 8-1, including an Andrew Benintendi homer. So don't look now, but they're trending in the direction of the over. The Guardians, they beat Kansas City. Kyle Manzardo had 3 hits in that game to lead Cleveland. The Astros, they beat the Mets 3-1. Juan Soto checked swing strikeout to end the game. The combination of Lindor, Soto, and Pete Alonso was 2 of 9 yesterday with 3 Ks. Don't freak out, though, Mets fans. I was saying this all day yesterday. Historically, the Mets are a really solid team on opening day, okay? Well, that doesn't also historically result in them making the World Series. So you know what? I'm kind of down with them losing yesterday. I'm kind of down with it not going their way yesterday. Because last time I checked, I don't believe that Lindor, Alonso, and Soto will go 2 for 9 with 3 Ks for the remainder of the season. Do I think they'll do that sometimes? Yeah, they're human. 162 games. 4 to failure. I got it. Okay? But it's only up from here. That's the way I see it. Nonetheless, game 1, 161. Can't get swept in the first series. That could bite you in the end. But at the end of the day, it's only game number 1. Always room to get better. 4 in the 7th leads the Padres past the Braves, led by Manny Machado, had 2 hits, and Fernando Tatis, who had 3 hits. The Cardinals, they beat the Twins. 4 different hitters had 2+ hits for the Cardinals, including Lars Newbar. Watch this homer right here. Watch where this ball is located, okay, and how far down it is. Bomb. And you'll see this pitch located pretty much on the ground. Woo! It was dropping. It was out of the zone. Lars Newbar stays on it and hits an absolute tank. The Dodgers, they won 5-4 on opening day. Thank you, Shohei Ohtani, who hit this bomb opposite field in the bottom of the 7th. Dodgers ended up holding on to win 5-4. Then late night, you had 2 West Coast games go on. The Cubs, they outslugged the Diamondbacks 10-6. Beautiful swing there by Shohei. Oh my gosh. No wonder he's like the best hitter in baseball. If you can hit the opposite direction, Tom Hanks fired up. With power like that, you are one of the best hitters in baseball. To finish that thought, Cubs 10, Diamondbacks 6. Zach Gallen, not a very good start. Started really well. Looked like a 1-2-3 inning on only 9 pitches. Third baseman throws the ball away. That ends up becoming more, and then it ends up becoming a walk fest. At one point in time, Zach Gallen threw 9 straight balls. Diamondbacks lose their home opener. The Cubs get their first victory of the year. They're 1-2. Yes, friendly reminder, they went to Japan and lost to the Dodgers, who are 3-0. And then finally, the Mariners, who are looking to break that barely missing the playoffs streak that's gone on with 80-something plus wins every year. They defeat the Athletics 4-2 to finish off opening day in Major League Baseball. It was a lot of fun. The one thing that I learned, I actually learned 2 things. First off, a lot of talent in baseball right now. Okay? I lied to everybody. Three things I learned. A lot of talent in Major League Baseball right now. The game is not as slow as everyone used to think it is. I do think the speed up thing's kind of working. And lastly, I want challenges for balls and strikes in the actual regular season. Now, I'm not saying that every hitter should be able to challenge every single pitch, but I think each hitter should have a certain amount of challenges in their back pocket that they can go to, okay? And maybe there's only 9 guys in the lineup, 9 total balls and strike challenges throughout the entirety of the game. And if the leadoff hitter, wants to use all 4 of those challenges in my first at bat of the game, well, that's on me. Or, which is most likely going to happen, you got to be strategic about it. But I think what we saw in spring training was viable. I thought it was legit. And I thought it could seamlessly transition into Major League Baseball right now. And then if you have, let's call it 5 challenges from any hitter at any point in time on balls and strikes, and then you have the 2 challenges for the manager, and if he gets 2 right, I think he gets a third maybe. Either way, you get the 2 no matter what. Now you're talking about actual opportunity for coaches and players to be able to say, no, I don't agree with you. And the umpires are able to say, okay, we'll go check it. And we're right or you're right. And I think that makes the game better. And the balls and strikes challenge is quick. It's really quick because it's that automated system. Okay. And that automated system's what they're designing to, in theory, quote unquote, eventually have automated umpires. So it's a good technology. And it's been, at least at what I've seen on television, and then what I've seen just reading stuff online, it's been pretty solid. And I think the players liked it and the opportunity to do it in spring training. So I'm really excited for the future of baseball from that light. I'm nervous, as I said yesterday, about the future of baseball in general, okay, because it has taken such a big hit in the last 10, 12 years. It has taken such a big hit in popularity comparative to other sports that I just don't know how you come fully back from that, especially on the horizon being a collective bargaining agreement, and a really big one at that. Let's finish.
What you watching?
What are you watching this weekend? Okay, you're watching 3 different things. First off, baseball, duh. Okay, it's opening weekend, all right? And if you want to get a good idea of whether or not a team's going to be good for you for 162, check out starters number 3, starters number 4, starters that aren't your first 2. Check out the 6th, 7th, and 8th bullpen reliever to come out of the pen. Check out your backup catcher. Those are the things that are going to make a team great over the course of a full season. You can't play your starting 9 for 162. That doesn't happen anymore. So you need 12, 13 position players. You need 4 starters, legitimate, good, can give you 5 innings every time starters, and you need legitimate relievers. It's a reliever's game now from a pitching standpoint. And if you get into the game 2 and 3 of a series and your team cannot handle that pitching, it'll tell you everything you need to know about your team. Let's continue.
What you watching?
I'm watching the Lakers and the Grizzlies on Saturday night. They're fighting for a playoff spot, okay? If you look at the National Basketball Association, we've mentioned it a few times. The West is tight. Lakers are the 4 seed at 44 and 29. Well, the Grizzlies are the 5 seed at 44 and 29. And they square off on Saturday night at 8 p.m. So check that game out, okay? It's not one game for it all by any stretch of the imagination, but this is what you're getting down the stretch in that middle of the Western Conference, and it's a lot of fun. Plus, the Lakers have been playing really good with Luka and LeBron together, okay? Despite what's gone on their last 4 or 5 games, the totality of it's been really good. Memphis is a good, solid team with Ja Morant and company, so that's going to be a good one Saturday night. Finally,
What you watching?
dude, I'm watching the next 4 games of the Sweet 16, which lets me tell you that I got to do this for the people.
Ba 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 na na ba 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 na na.
All right, here's the deal. All right, all 4 NCAA games that I picked last night, we were 4 for 4 on. I had Bama at -5.5, Zona at +9.5, Arkansas at +5.5, and Florida on the money line. However, the Mets lost and the over did not hit. So I was 4-2 last night, 79 and 63. +3 overall. So tonight I'm only going with college basketball. Okay. I got Auburn at the -5.5. I think that Auburn is a really good team. I believe in them. I do like Michigan, but I think they are a little bit farther past their talent level. And if Auburn plays their game, they can win this game, and they can win it by 9 points. Auburn at the -8.5. I got Ole Miss plus the 3.5. I think Ole Miss is a scrappy team. Do I think Izzo and Sparty win it? Yes, I do. I think we could see this thing kind of being like an Arkansas, Texas Tech last night. Give me Ole Miss at the +3.5. That's the hardest one I had to take. Purdue playing number 1 Houston. Houston's going to win this game, I think, but I think Purdue's good enough to lose by 8.5. It's like the Purdue redemption tour. Though it was 2 years ago and a completely different team that lost 16-1 to FDU, you still got to get over that at any point in time and prove that you can win the games in the tournament. And this Purdue team is doing that. Although I think Houston is too good, but I think Purdue can cover at the +8.5. I also think Kentucky can cover the +4.5. I actually think Kentucky can win this game. I just think it would be wildly fitting if we watched John Calipari in his first year at Arkansas leaving Kentucky lose a tough game in the Sweet 16 where we think he could have coached better. And then on the flip night, Kentucky defeats Tennessee and goes back to the Sweet 16. Wow, that is the most sports college story you have ever seen. That's beautiful. And that's what I think is going to happen tonight. So those are my 4 picks. That's what I'm watching this weekend. That's what I think you can win your bananas on. And that is the Rome Show on a Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. Hope you had a great week. Hope you have a great finish to your day. Make sure it is electric. I am Andrew Romanella. Thank you for listening. Please share this with a friend and continue to grow the Rome Show and the 12-ounce sports fanship. I will see you on Monday. Until then, thanks.
Thank you for listening.